As the brakes sounded out, the group turned, several grabbing weapons, including one of them that he recognized. Richard, the one whose barn Ricardo had burned down. He still wore his straw hat, though his overalls had lost a button. His eyes traveled over the rickshaw before he frowned and grunted out a question. "What does Ricardo want this time?" "You haven't heard?" Arthur asked. "Heard what?" That came from a heavy-set woman near the back. At the sound of her voice, Wyatt flinched. His mother, perhaps? Arthur thought, as he did his best to smile before dropping the news. "Ricardo is dead." There was silence before the crowd yelled questions at him. Theobald took a step to cut them off, but someone beat him to it. An old man with a long white beard tucked into his belt clapped his hands. "Shut up, you lot!" Everyone stopped speaking as he continued. "First off, I'm Jeremy. My farm is near the back. You, boy, are you the one who owns that shop Richard and the others got dragged to?" "Yes, sir." Arthur nodded quickly. The old man let out a joyful whoop and punched a fist into the air. His tone was exuberant as he questioned Arthur. "So what happened? Who killed him?" "I did." As he spoke, he tried to keep his gaze on the crowd, but it was a struggle. He couldn't make himself feel disappointed about Ricardo's death, though his discomfort at his own actions during the event meant he ended up staring at the ground. A part of him knew he should feel worse. However, he didn't have the time for a proper breakdown. People swarmed him, and he lost sight of Richard. Theobald looked overwhelmed as farmers cheered and shook his hand. Most appeared overjoyed. However, he saw a few looking apprehensive as they glanced between him and the dead pit monster. He could understand why. Ricardo wasn't pleasant, but he protected them. He supposed that would be something he'd need to add to the deal. After another few minutes, Jeremy and Richard pulled him away from the crowd. "Come on, let's get you inside," Richard said. "You can explain why my son is with you and what you want. I somehow doubt it's purely to deliver the news." Over the man's shoulder, he could see Wyatt standing next to someone who appeared to be his mother. From the look on his face, she didn't approve of what he was telling her. "That sounds great, though I might need everyone, unless you have a leader who can make group decisions?" Richard nodded before he gestured to the old man and the woman talking to Wyatt. "Jeremy, Alice, we need you. The rest of you grab the tables. Lunchtime feast." That announcement received cheers and a rush of people. Theobald joined their small group, and together they all headed inside with the sounds of celebration growing from behind them.